And I want people to understand that it's okay to be alone. It's okay to be by yourself. You got to start understanding that when you're an individual and you're a strong individual, there's going to be a lot of people who don't like you, a lot of people who are going to hate on you, but you have to be okay with standing on your own. You got to be okay with not having any fans. You got to be okay with not having any cheers. You got to be okay with not having any claps. You got to be okay being booed, no matter what you're doing. You have to be your only and your biggest fan. You got to be fully confident. You got to be able to survive by yourself. You don't need anyone out there to help you survive. Now, it is always good to get help, and it's always good to have a team, but you have to be prepared to not have that. You have to be prepared to go out there and fight like a lion at all times and be you at all times. You know, it's 2023, almost 2024. This life is really short. And a lot of us take life for granted. And I just want to let everybody know out there, if you got people in your life who are not giving you anything and you're giving them things, or if they're not giving you what you're giving them, you need to get them out your life. You need to stop accepting the bare minimum. You need to require some positivity or some type of, you're giving me something. You either are positive in my life or you're a negative. And if somebody's been a negative in your life, they gotta go. There's not even no room to talk. They have to go. If they're a negative, that means they're bringing you down. That's just the truth. It doesn't matter if it's your mom, your dad, your girl, your brother. It doesn't matter who it is. Homies that you're trying to hold on to. You're trying to change your life, but you keep hanging out with the same people, and that's why you continue to get the same results. To do the same thing over and over again and expect different results is literally called insanity. So you have to be willing to go out there and fight and change things about yourself. And when you're changing and you're growing, that means people around you are going to be changing and people are going to be leaving. Some people ain't meant to be in your life forever. They're here to be here momentarily. And we really have to understand that. And so for me, when I grew up, I left my mom's house at around the age of 8 to live with my uncle. And I never really had my dad. So in hindsight, was alone at home. I always feel like I was alone. I didn't have anybody for Mother's Day. I didn't have anybody for Father's Day. You know, I had my uncle, he was great, but most of the time I'd be at home by myself. Most of the time, Christmas time, there's no presents. Birthday, there's no birthday celebration. You know, I'm here living my life, I'm here surviving. And so that's what helped toughen me up, and it helped me learn how to survive on my own. It helped me to get booed and love getting booed. And to once made me want to go even harder. So I remember one time in high school, I was playing at Sherwood High School. I believe this is about 2003. I was a sophomore, and I think I was a sophomore. I might have been a freshman, actually. But I had 19 points, and the crowd was cheering. They're like, "You're a midget, bah, 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 bah. You're a midget, bah, 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 bah." And I'm dribbling the ball. And I make my shot. Blow a kiss at them every time. You know, it made me perform better because I was taught, and I taught myself how to always perform, even when they're against you. Like I tell people, there's no one in the world who can embarrass me. There's no one in the world who could put me on blast. Why? Because I'm a man at all times. And you cannot make me be less than a man. So anything that I've done, whether I'm proud of it or I'm not proud of it, it's not going to embarrass me because I did those things. There's some things I did, but I'm not that person. And that goes for everyone, but you have to know it's okay. It's okay to accept your past. It's okay to love yourself. It's okay to say, you know what? I used to do this. Ladies, it's okay to, hey, you know what? I used to be a hoe. Hey, you know what? I didn't value myself. Hey, you know what? I didn't care about nothing. Fellas, it's okay. You know what? I used to be a loser. It's okay. There's a lot of things that it's okay as long as you're trying to grow. So first I want to start with, let me see, how can I start this? I'll go ahead and start with the men out here. First thing I'm going to say to you is, as a man, If you're looking for a woman, you need to have 3 minimum requirements: your own car, your own spot, and your own job. Job, car, spot, that should be mandatory. Ladies, if you meet a man, if he does not have a job, car, and a spot, you should run as fast as you can. If you can't run, just walk away. It makes no sense. There's no excuse for it. If he doesn't have a job and car and spot at this moment, don't even talk to him. If he's telling you he's working on it, it's okay to go ahead and talk to him, but don't hang out with him. Like, no disrespect, but I have these requirements, and I feel every man should have a job, car, and spot. And I'm talking about 23 years old and up. I'm giving you 4 years of college after high school and the extra year to be prepared and to have this life. You should have a job, a car, and a spot. That's what a man is. Everything else is uncivilized. Ladies, we're going to go with the same age. If you're a 23-year-old woman, you should be able to take care of yourself. You should be presentable enough to look nice. You should be presentable enough to have good hygiene. You should be mentally ready to be able to listen to a man. Because I know a lot of you females out there can get almost any dude you want. But what you guys are failing to realize is the man that you want is not gonna like the same stuff that all the man you can get wants. Okay? So the man that you want is gonna like other things from a woman than the men that you can get. And that's usually the struggle. And a lot of you super pretty women or good looking women to the world, you guys never had to work on yourself. You never had to work on your attitude. So you're with guys and been around guys who accept any and everything. Me, I'm not doing that. If I see something I don't like, I'm like, hey, that's disgusting. I don't like that. I don't appreciate that. Why do you do that? That just makes you look horrible. Like, if you're a beautiful female and you smoke cigarettes, you're disgusting to me. If you smoke weed, you're disgusting to me. If you drink, I don't like that either. I want a woman who don't drink, who don't smoke, nothing, who don't do no drugs. I want a pure woman. I want a sober woman. Now, I'm not saying you're a bad person, but I'm saying what I like as my preference in a relationship. If you do that, you want to smoke weed, smoke weed. If you want to dress like a hooker, dress like a hooker. Me, I don't like that. I don't want to accept that, and I'm not accepting that. So we all have the right to choose what we want. If you say, hey, I don't want a female with small chest, guess what? You don't have to accept that. If you say, hey, I don't want a man who's under 5'6", you got to accept that. You can do whatever you want to do. If you're one of those ladies out there saying, well, I don't want a man that controls me, I'm not going to sit here and listen to him, I'm going to wear whatever I want to wear, wear whatever. If you're one of those women who says that, I'm going to wear whatever I want to wear, no vacuum. I'm going to wear whatever I want to wear, then go ahead and do that. Wear whatever you want to wear. Do whatever you want to do. Hang out with whoever you want to hang out. But understand that none of that is going to please the man that you want. So you doing that, you being this independent, making all these decisions, you're fighting to not be happy with the man that you want. Fellas, as a man, if you're telling your woman what to do and you don't have a job, car, and spot, you should just shut the fuck up. That's what should happen. Because you're not a man yet, buddy. You need to be able to provide for your woman fully. You need to protect your woman fully. If you're not doing this, there's no reason for you to give any orders. You're not living like a king. You don't have the status of a king. So stop trying to control anything. Now, I will say this. It's 2023. Life is way more expensive. And there are a lot of couples out there who are going 50-50. So now we all have to compromise. And we all have to look like, okay, you know what? This relationship is equal. She's paying 50% of the bills. I'm paying 50% of the bills. So now we all have to be on some 50-50 as far as compromising. You guys are both trying to give 100, but we're saying when you split it in half as a couple, it's 50-50 for the people who want to get technical out there. But fellas, if you're paying half the bills, you only get half a say in what she's wearing. That's all you're getting. Now, if you're paying all the bills, 90, if you're in the, you know what, we're going to do it like grades in school. You're paying 60%, you get a D. 70%, you get a C. 80%, you get a B. If you in that 90 percentile, you got an A, hey, it's your way. You got an A, it's your way. So if you're paying 90% of the bills or more, your woman should not be saying nothing to you about anything you're asking far as what you expect. And the standard should be here. So for me, me personally as a man, I want my woman to want to go here. It doesn't mean you'll get here. It doesn't mean you're here, but we're striving for this. You're striving to submit to me. You're striving to be happy to follow something I'm saying. You're willing to obey me. And I'm saying obey. I'm not using no other word. Obey. That means listen to what I'm saying. And ladies, understand that when you obey your man and you're happy to obey your man, you unlock a certain amount of peace inside his heart and his brain where it makes him act way different, and you will be way happier in your relationship. So this is all based on you. Women, you are the key to this puzzle. You have the most power in the relationship far as your happiness. So understand that you have the most power in your relationship far as your happiness as a woman. There's women who go on dates with men and the men pay them $5,000 and they've never even touched them like that in a sexual way. So women, you do hold a lot of power, and you have to understand, if you're not happy in your relationship, it's because you're not happy with yourself. Stop blaming that man for your unhappiness. Stop doing that. It's about you. You need to fix you. Stop blaming him about anything that you're talking about. It's not his fault you feel that way. You feel a certain way about things that he's doing because you've been taught that. And you've been taught by this new world. If you've been taught by this new world, then you have to understand that a lot of these things are to keep us separate and independent because that brings more money. Like how I look at it is like black people believe in the history that we've been taught. We've been taught the history by the people who hung us, the people who enslaved us, the people who beat us, who kept us separated, who said that we weren't even a full human. So if they did all these things, why would you believe the history that they taught you? Exactly. You should not. So we're not going to believe the history you're telling us about a relationship. And we see that most relationships are not working no more. They're for sure not working like they were back in the day. So we have to understand and be logical and say, hey, this ain't working. Why is it not working? You women out there always talk about how the women back in the day were miserable and they weren't happy. Then those women raised these powerful women. They raised these lawyers, these fire women, these strong women, these women who make all this money. They raised these women, those so-called unhappy women who weren't educated, who weren't as smart as y'all. They were happier than y'all. They kept their families in line. They raised their kids and they wasn't putting them in daycare like that. And they have raised their kids to be beautiful, strong, independent women. And y'all say they weren't good. What are you guys raising? You guys are raising all my pussy pink, my booty hole brown women. You guys are raising the Cardi B's. You guys are raising these, I'm gonna put a porn tape out type females. You guys are raising them. They raised the queens. They raised the Angela Bassett's. You guys are not raising them. Like Jada Pinkett, she raised Willow Smith. That's who she raised. So when we start thinking about these things, it starts adding up and it starts making a lot of sense. So like I said, we need to get stronger individually, all of us, men and women. And when we're stronger individually, we're strong enough to be in a relationship. And when you're strong enough to be in a relationship, a lot of things won't bother you like they would bother you if you're not. A lot of us are very hurt, and we come into relationship hurt, and then we act hurt. And hurt people hear very differently than someone who's not hurt. Broken people hear differently than someone who's not broken. And we have to realize these things. If we're broken, we have to understand, hey, I'm broken in this way, so I'm going to hear these things differently. You know, like going back to black people, it's like we can be in line, we could be at a restaurant, and let's say they don't give us bread. Automatically, since we're hurt people, we're thinking we didn't get bread. Why? Because we're black. Now, let's say they didn't give us bread because we're black, right? My mind's not going to allow myself to think that way because I don't want to think that way. I don't want to live as a victim. And we continue to live as victim, all of us. So we need to sit here and say, you know what? Maybe they just forgot the bread. We need to give that benefit of the doubt in this type of situation. You know, as individuals, we all can make these changes and we all can make everything better in our lives. This is all our choices. We can make the choice today. We talk about so many things. We talk about empowerment. We talk about getting better. But what are we truly doing to get or receive these things? Nothing. I don't want to hear no black people talking about black empowerment. Oh, black lives. I don't want to hear none of that shit. Because we don't live that way. We're still buying Nikes. We're still buying all the companies who hate us, who abused us, who manipulated us, who talked about how they don't want us wearing these things. We don't do nothing. And as soon as a black person is having a business or they make some shoes or something, they're selling their shoes for $200, we're like, ah, hell no, I ain't buying that. Those are his shoes. Oh, how much your shirts, bro? Damn, $60? But you'll go buy the Gucci shirt for $300. It's not making sense. It's not adding up. Or we say, oh yeah, black power, Black Lives Matter, but you're willing to go shoot a black person in the face. You're willing to act tough with somebody, with a black man who's trying to talk to your girl, or with a man who has sex with your girl. You're willing to kill him, but you're not willing to kill the officer, the police officer who killed the innocent black girl, who killed the innocent black kid. And as soon as you see the police, you're on some yes, sir, no, sir, okay, sir. Now you're soft. But with your own kind, a person that looks like you want to turn into Kimbo Slice or Debo or the hardest nigga that you ever met. But with white folks, we want to give them passes. Like, let's stop these games. Ladies, you say you want a man, but every time you get a man, you're saying, I'm not listening to him. I'm going to do what I want to do. So how do you want a man if you want to do what you want to do? No, you want to be a hooker. Go do that. All these regular women are having the same mindset as the hookers. They're in agreement with the hookers. If you want to be in agreement with the hookers, you want to dress like the hookers, you want to act like the hookers, you want to talk like the hookers, why don't you go ahead and just be a hooker? Let's stop wasting time. Ladies, do whatever y'all want to do. Y'all want to have sex like men have sex? Have sex like men have sex. Go ahead. Y'all want to continue to play this game? Let's play this game. Or we could all humble ourselves and be realistic and say, you know what? I don't want to play this game. I do want some happiness. Let's be real. And by being real, you have to be the strongest individual that you can be. You have to be willing to work. If you say you want to work at Microsoft, you have to build up things to get there. You say you want to be a lawyer, you should be studying the law. These are just beginner steps. You say you want to play a sport, you should be practicing thoroughly. You should be doing this every day. People who are the strongest, who are the best, who are in the NBA, MLB, NFL, they do things that are extraordinary every day, normally. The other people, they do them sometimes. Like, they're working hard all the time. Normal people work hard sometimes, occasionally. It has to be an everyday thing. Like, everyday thing. Like I said, we're here, we're in real life. This life is short. Any of us can go today, right now, heart attack, car accident. It don't matter how healthy you are, it don't matter how unhealthy you are. What matters is what you're doing and what you're putting your best foot forward. That's what truly matters. Everything else does not matter. And so another topic that I really wanted to talk about, because I'm talking about a lot of things. And this is just me saying, hey, I want to really end this war, so I'm getting on every topic, is what men want. And what I believe that most men originally want is to have a family, make money, take care of their family, feel honored, and really that's it. I don't see other things. I mean, there's small things like, of course, being honored is part of that. Yeah, being honored is part of, like, hey, other men respect you. Some men fear you. It's like they look at you like, oh, okay, it's him. And as a man, every man should want to feel like that. Every man should want to come in the room and immediately he gets respect from every other man. If you're not receiving that respect, it's because people don't think you're a man. When you're a man, you're going to get respect right away. It doesn't matter where you go. You don't have to be a bully. You come in as who you are, and people are going to respect you. That means you have that respect. As a man, you're going to be respected because you're a man. Just like a woman. A woman, you don't have to worry about a man respecting you. A man is going to respect you how you allow him to respect you. So if he met you in a certain way, that's how he's going to treat you. If you're walking down the street and the man's like, hey, cuckoo, ooh, what's up? What's poppin'? If you start smiling, laughing, feeling good, amused, that just tells me that you didn't have the proper father figure in your life to show you what an actual man is, because you would not accept that type of behavior or that type of communication in order to be with somebody. You would be offended by that. Excuse me? And then he would, oh, how you doing? There you go. Like, I remember being at a club one time, I believe I was 22 years old. There's this older lady, beautiful. And I was like, oh my goodness, what's up? She's like, excuse me? I'm like, man, what's poppin'? Excuse me? How you doing? She was like, there you go. Right at that moment, I respected her differently. It was just different. When a real woman, a real respectful woman comes in the room, every man in the room will respect her. The women will see her and they will be like, wow, they will even see it. Just like men. All those men who get talked about, who get hated on, who dudes talk about so much, those are the men that are respected. They're talking about them because they feel a certain weakness or insecurity when they hear his name, when they think of him, or they just feel like, oh, I can't be him. That's what that comes down to. Ladies, you want to have a powerful man. You want the man that all the men are talking about, all the men are hating on. That means he's doing something right. Okay? That's what that means. He's doing something right. Now, when it comes to being a man in a relationship in 2023, you have to be firm on what you want. And we have to stop accepting whatever. We have to really go out here and say, hey, I'm not accepting these things. Especially if you're a man with your own job, car, and spot, and you're single, you're a very valuable man. Very valuable man. And so you need to understand what you're bringing to the table. And if a woman's only bringing a vagina and a bad attitude, she gotta go, homie. You can't take her serious. You can't. Because really, if you want that, you could just pay for that and not have a headache. You could pay for a woman whenever you want to do something. You got the money. You got to deal with no headache. No, you didn't call me. It's just, hey, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, and I'm out. And this is all dead serious. And fellas, if you don't know how to be a man, to reach goals. You need to be around men who are doing these things. Same with women. We need to be intentional on who we're around. Because if we're around people who are a higher status than us, who have more wisdom than us, who are smarter, who are making more money, that's going to elevate you to make more money. You know, if you're playing a sport, hang around with the guys who are really good. If you just play with the weak people all day, it's going to be hard to be better. Because let's say you just dominate them, you're going to think you're just dominating everyone, and then you get to the game and you find out like, oh man, I just wasn't playing against nobody. It's like the kid who thinks his dad's the best player in the world. Did he see his dad just go to regular or LA Fitness and his dad ain't doing nothing? Because he found out, hey, my dad was playing against me. That's why he was so good. So these are all the things in life. We have to learn to be honest with ourselves. And once you're honest with yourself, you're going to be the best being that you can be as an individual. And when you're the best being that you can be as an individual, you're going to be the best being you can be in a relationship. You're going to be stern. You're going to keep your morals. You're going to be compromising. You're going to be understanding. And these are the things that's going to work in life in any aspect. If you're going to be a hard trier, if you're going to be open-minded, if you're going to stick to your morals, if you're going to stick to who you are, be true to yourself, you're going to be successful in anything you do. Anything you do. When you speak loudly and clearly. When you're a man, you say what's up to somebody, what's up? How you doing? No, hey, what's up, bro? How you doing? Like, what? It's time to be a man. You're a woman, you compose yourself better. You don't talk to everyone. Everyone doesn't get invited into your life and invited into your conversation. If you have a man and other men are complimenting you, it should never be thank you. You should be offended. You should get to the point where you're offended. Like, no, I have a man. Like, please don't talk to me. Like, I'm not trying to be rude, but no, that is very disrespectful. I have a man. When we see those women, we respect them more. If you're smiling and laughing when a man's complimenting you and you have a man, that means you're open. No man wants a woman that's open. And we have a lot of cowards out there who are accepting anything these days because we as men have been weak as hell the last 50 years. And we're the reason why this is happening. Because we've done such a weak ass job. We've been weak ass men for this long. And now we're shocked that these women are fighting to be stronger than us. Why are we shocked? Look what we have done. So that's why when I'm talking to certain ladies and other men, I'm like, listen, you have to understand that I'm speaking from a man's perspective. I'm not speaking from no little boy's perspective. So when a female's like, well, why would I follow him if he's not a good leader? No, you should say, why would I choose him if he's not a good leader? That was the dumbest decision you made right there. But when you do choose a man, you have to follow him if you want to be happy. If you don't want to be happy, do you, boo-boo? Do you? But if you want a successful relationship, you're going to have to adapt to how your man is, not me. I can't tell this man how to run his house. I can give him some advice, but his house runs how he runs. Back in the